She thought she was just helping a stranger survive the night. Maya Thompson clutches her last crumpled dollar bill outside the 24-hour laundromat on Euclid Avenue. The fluorescent lights flicker through grimy windows as the washing machine churns with their only clean clothes. Her 8-year-old daughter Zoe sleeps curled up on a plastic chair, using Maya's thin jacket as a blanket. Across the snowy street, a man in a torn coat shivers by the bus stop. His shoulders shake with each gust of February wind. He's clearly hungry, desperate, but something about him is different. He's not asking anyone for help. Maya stares at the dollar in her hand. This is supposed to buy Zoe breakfast tomorrow, but watching this stranger suffer feels impossible to ignore. She crosses the street and presses the bill into his weathered hand. "For some food," she whispers. He looks up with startling blue eyes. "Are you certain, miss? This seems like all you have." What Maya didn't know was that this homeless man had been searching for someone exactly like her for months, and her $1 was about to unlock millions. But 3 months earlier, Maya's world had been completely different. Maya Thompson wakes up at 5 a.m. in their cramped studio apartment above Carter's grocery store. The radiator clanks like a broken heartbeat. Water stains on the ceiling tell stories of countless leaks. But Maya greets each morning with the same quiet determination that's carried her through 6 years as a certified nursing assistant. She's mastered the art of making nothing look like something. Breakfast for Zoe is toast with the last bit of peanut butter, presented like a feast. "Extra protein for my smart girl," Maya says, watching her daughter's face light up. The math is brutal and precise. Rent, $800 for this tiny space that barely fits their lives. Utilities, another $150 when everything works. Groceries, she's stretched $40 into 2 weeks by buying rice in bulk and splitting single meals into 2. Zoe's growing feet need new shoes, but Maya's been padding the old ones with cardboard. Maya takes 2 buses to reach Mercy General Hospital. 40 minutes each way, $2.50 per trip. She calculated that walking would save them $20 a week, but the 6-mile journey would mean leaving Zoe alone longer. Some math problems have no good solutions. At the hospital, Maya moves through her 12-hour shifts like a guardian angel in scrubs. She's the CNA who remembers that Mrs. Rodriguez likes her pillow fluffed twice, that Mr. Carter gets anxious during thunderstorms, that teenage patients respond better when you ask about their music first. "Maya's got a gift," her supervisor Sarah tells the new nurses. "Patients ask for her by name. That's rare." What Sarah doesn't know is that Maya skips lunch most days. The $3.50 for a cafeteria meal can buy Zoe an extra snack for school. Maya tells herself she's not hungry at lunchtime, so many times she almost believes it. After work, Maya races to pick up Zoe from Mrs. Patterson's apartment down the hall. The elderly neighbor watches Zoe for $15 a day, money Maya can barely afford but has no choice but to spend. Mrs. Patterson never mentions when Maya's late with payment, just gives Zoe an extra cookie and pretends not to notice. Evenings unfold like carefully choreographed survival. Homework happens at their small kitchen table under a light bulb that flickers when the neighbor upstairs uses their microwave. Zoe spreads her worksheets across the scratched surface while Maya reviews medical terminology from library books she checks out weekly. "Mama, what's this word?" Zoe points to her reading assignment. "Sound it out, baby. You're smarter than you know." Dinner is often creative reimagining. Spaghetti with butter and garlic becomes fancy Italian pasta. Scrambled eggs with cheese transform into breakfast for dinner surprise. Maya's learned to make scarcity feel like adventure. Bath time requires strategy. Hot water costs money, so they share quick showers. Maya washes her work scrubs by hand in the sink, hanging them over the radiator to dry overnight. She owns 3 sets, rotating them carefully so she always looks professional. Zoe's bedtime stories come from library books they've read dozens of times. Charlotte's Web is their current favorite. Maya does different voices for each character, turning their cramped space into worlds of possibility. "Someday we'll have our own house with a yard," Maya whispers as Zoe drifts off. "You can have a pet and your own room with pink walls if you want." "Will you still read to me?" Zoe asks sleepily. "Every single night." But lately, the calculations aren't adding up. Maya works every available shift, picks up overtime whenever possible, but it's never quite enough. Last month, Zoe got strep throat. The emergency room visit, $75 with their bare-bones insurance, wiped out Maya's carefully saved buffer. The eviction notice arrived 3 days ago. Stark white paper with red lettering, taped to their door like a scarlet letter. Demand for payment of rent or quit premises. Maya read it after Zoe went to sleep, sitting on their tiny bathroom floor so her daughter wouldn't see her cry. 2 weeks behind on rent means $1,600 Maya doesn't have. She's called the landlord, Mr. Carter, begging for an extension. His broken English carries genuine sympathy, but sympathy doesn't pay his mortgage. I'm sorry, Maya. You are a good tenant. But I have bills, too. Maya's been taking on extra shifts, but the hospital can only offer so many hours. She's considered getting a second job, but who would watch Zoe? Childcare costs more than a second job would pay. At night, when Zoe sleeps, Maya lies awake calculating impossible equations. If she walks to work for 2 weeks, that saves $40. If they eat rice and beans every day, she can save another $30. But even perfect frugality won't generate $1,600 in 14 days. She thinks about her father, who struggled with addiction and died when she was 16. About her mother, who worked 3 jobs but still lost their house to medical bills before dying of cancer when Maya was 22. About the cycle of poverty that seems impossible to break. But every morning, Maya gets up and tries again. She kisses Zoe's forehead, tells her they're going to have a beautiful day, and means it completely. Because Maya Thompson has learned that hope isn't about having enough. Hope is about believing that tomorrow might be different, even when today looks impossible. What she doesn't know is that tomorrow will be more different than she ever dared imagine. That Tuesday night, everything would change because of what Maya witnessed. It's 11 p.m. on February 15th, the coldest night Cleveland has seen all winter, 15 degrees and dropping fast. Maya and Zoe sit in the 24-hour Suds and Bubbles laundromat on Euclid Avenue because their building's machines have been broken for 3 weeks. Maya counts quarters like rosary beads, enough for 1 wash cycle, their last clean load until she gets paid Friday. Zoe sleeps peacefully on a plastic chair, wrapped in Maya's thin work jacket, trusting completely that Mama will handle everything. Through the fogged window, Maya watches people hurry past with their heads down. Everyone's rushing to get somewhere warm. That's when she sees him. An older man stumbles near the bus stop across the street, mid-50s, maybe older. His coat is torn at the shoulder, hanging loose like broken wings. He's not begging, not holding a sign, just standing there swaying slightly, looking lost. Maya recognizes the signs from her CNA training: hypothermia, confusion. The way his hands shake isn't just from the cold, it's from his body shutting down. Mama? Zoe stirs, rubbing her eyes. What are you looking at? Just watching the snow, baby. Go back to sleep. But Maya can't look away. The man sits down heavily on the concrete. His breath comes out in short puffs that get smaller with each exhale. This is how people die on winter nights. Quietly. While the world sleeps. A police car crawls down Euclid Avenue. Maya holds her breath, hoping they'll stop. The cruiser slows near the bus stop, and Maya sees the officer look directly at the man. But then the car continues on, disappearing into the snowy darkness. 2 teenagers walk past the man, laughing about something on their phones. A woman in a fur coat crosses the street to avoid him completely. A delivery driver glances over but keeps walking to his warm truck. Maya's chest tightens. She thinks about her father, Robert Sr., who died alone outside a shelter in Detroit. Someone found him the next morning, already gone. If just one person had stopped, she used to wonder as a child. If someone had just seen him as human. The man tries to stand but falls back down. His movements are getting slower, more confused. Maya knows what happens next. She's seen it in the ER too many times. Homeless patients brought in too late. Body temperatures too low to save. 15 more minutes on the washer, Maya whispers to herself, checking the digital display. She has $23 in her purse. Grocery money for the next 4 days. Bus fare to work tomorrow. Zoe's lunch money. The smart thing would be to stay inside, mind her own business. She has enough problems without taking on someone else's. But Maya has never been smart about other people's pain. The man's head droops forward. His shoulders stop shaking. That's the dangerous sign, when the body stops fighting the cold. Maya looks at Zoe, peaceful and trusting, then at the man who might not see mourning. She thinks about the $1,600 she owes in rent, about walking 6 miles to work in the snow, about explaining to Zoe why there's no food tomorrow. None of it matters. Maya gently shakes Zoe awake. Sweetheart, Mama needs to help someone. Can you watch our clothes and stay right here by the window? Zoe sits up, instantly alert. Is someone hurt? Yes, baby. And we're going to help him. Like you help people at the hospital? Exactly like that. Maya pulls on her thin jacket and checks her purse. $23. The difference between survival and disaster. Between making it to Friday's paycheck and complete catastrophe. But across the street, a man is dying. Zoe presses her small hands against the window. Mama, hurry. He looks really cold. Maya steps into the brutal wind. Snow stings her face like tiny needles. Her breath catches in the Arctic air. Each step toward the bus stop feels like walking toward the edge of a cliff. She kneels beside the man. Up close, she can see details that make her heart ache. His coat was expensive once, good wool, quality buttons. His shoes are leather, scuffed but well made. This wasn't always his life. Sir, can you hear me? He opens his eyes. They're the most startling blue Maya has ever seen. Clear and intelligent, even through the haze of cold and confusion. I'm Maya. I'm a nurse. You're hypothermic. We need to get you warm right now. The man tries to speak, but his lips are too stiff. He nods slightly. Maya helps him stand. He's heavier than she expected, solid muscle beneath the raggedness. As they walk slowly toward the diner next to the laundromat, she notices something odd. His voice, when he finally manages words, carries an accent she can't place. Educated, refined. Thank you, he whispers. You didn't have to stop. But Maya Thompson always stops. It's who she is. What she doesn't know is that someone has been waiting an entire year for exactly this moment. Maya had no idea that her next few minutes would be watched by someone very important. The diner's bell chimes as Maya helps the man through the door. Warm air hits them like a blessing. The fluorescent lights reveal more than the darkness outside ever could. Despite his raggedness, there's something refined about this man. His posture, even weakened by cold, suggests someone accustomed to authority. His hands, though dirty, are soft. No calluses from manual labor. No scars from street life. Table for two? The waitress, Sue, looks skeptical. Her eyes take in the man's torn coat, Maya's worn scrubs, and she sighs like she's seen this before. Yes, please. Somewhere warm. Maya guides the man to a booth near the heating vent. Sue drops 2 menus on the table with barely concealed annoyance. The kitchen closes in 30 minutes. Maya opens the laminated menu. Every price feels like a personal attack. $12 for meatloaf, $8 for soup, $15 for the hearty breakfast special. Her $23 suddenly seems microscopic. Sir, what's your name? Maya asks gently. The man looks up from warming his hands around the complimentary water glass. Robert, he says, and there's that refined accent again, almost like he's choosing each word carefully. Robert, when did you last eat? He pauses, as if the question requires deep thought. Yesterday morning, I think. Time gets unclear. Maya's heart breaks. She thinks about Zoe's leftover sandwich in her purse, saved for tomorrow's lunch. About the peanut butter at home that needs to last until Friday. None of it matters. Sue, Maya calls the waitress over. We'll take the hearty breakfast special, extra bacon and coffee. Hot coffee! That's $15, Sue says like she's testing Maya's commitment. Maya pulls out her money, counts out 15 singles and 2 fives. Sue snatches the bills and disappears into the kitchen. Robert stares at the crumpled money in Maya's hand. Miss, that looked like everything you had. Don't worry about it. Maya tucks the remaining $3 back in her purse. $3 between her family and complete disaster. But you have a child. I saw her in the laundromat. Maya's surprised he noticed. Her name's Zoe. She's 8. And you're spending your money on a stranger instead of your daughter? The question hangs in the air. Maya could explain about her father dying alone, about believing everyone deserves dignity, about how helping others is the only thing that makes sense in a world that rarely makes sense. Instead, she just says, everyone needs to eat. Robert studies her face like he's memorizing it. What kind of work do you do? I'm a certified nursing assistant at Mercy General, 12-hour shifts mostly. Do you enjoy it? Maya smiles for the first time all evening. I love taking care of people, making someone's worst day a little better. Sometimes that's all you can do, you know? Just show up and care. Robert nods slowly. And what are your dreams for your daughter? The question catches Maya off guard. Most people ask about immediate concerns, rent, bills, survival. But Robert asks about dreams. College, Maya says without hesitation. I want her to have choices I never had. To know she can be anything, doctor, teacher, whatever makes her happy. I want her to help people too, but from a position of strength, not desperation. You talk about helping people like it's your calling. Isn't it everyone's calling? To make things better when we can? Robert's piercing blue eyes seem to see straight through her. Most people would disagree. Then most people are wrong. Sue returns with a plate piled high with food. Scrambled eggs, bacon, hash browns, toast. The smell makes Maya's empty stomach clench with hunger, but she pushes the plate toward Robert. Eat, she says simply. Robert picks up the fork with hands that shake slightly. Not from cold anymore, from emotion. Why are you doing this? Because you're hungry. Because it's February in Cleveland and you almost died tonight. Because tomorrow someone might need help and I'd want them to find their Maya. As Robert eats, Maya notices more inconsistencies. His table manners are impeccable. He cuts his food precisely, chews thoughtfully. When he reaches for the salt, his sleeve pulls back to reveal an expensive watch, definitely not something a homeless man would own. This is delicious, Robert says. I can't remember the last time I tasted food this good. Maya suspects it's been much more recent than he claims, but she doesn't press. Tell me about your daughter, Robert says between bites. Maya's face lights up. She's brilliant. Read 2 grades above her level, wants to be a doctor or a teacher. She changes her mind every week. She's kind like her grandmother was, always sharing her snacks with kids who don't have lunch money. She sounds like her mother. I hope so. I want her to believe the world is good, even when it doesn't feel that way. Robert finishes every bite, then sits back with his coffee. Color has returned to his cheeks. His breathing is normal. But those blue eyes never stop studying Maya. I want to give you something, he says, reaching into his coat pocket. Some way to contact me. To repay this kindness. You don't owe me anything. Robert pulls out what looks like a business card, but Maya gently pushes his hand away. Just promise me you'll find somewhere warm to sleep tonight. There's a shelter on 5th Street. It's not perfect, but it's safe. But you've given me everything. I've given you dinner. That's what neighbors do. Maya stands to leave, but Robert catches her wrist gently. Miss, what's your name? Maya Thompson. Something flickers across Robert's face. Recognition? Surprise? But it passes so quickly Maya thinks she imagined it. As Maya walks away, Robert quietly slips something into her jacket pocket. She doesn't notice. Outside, snow continues to fall. Maya hurries back to the laundromat where Zoe waits by the window, giving her a thumbs up when she sees them together. Is he okay, Mama? He's going to be fine, baby. Are we okay? Maya looks at her remaining $3. No bus fare tomorrow, no lunch money for Zoe, no buffer against the growing mountain of bills. We're perfect, she says, and means it completely. Because Maya Thompson has learned that being okay isn't about having enough money. It's about being able to look at yourself in the mirror and know you did the right thing. What she doesn't know is that the man she just saved has been looking for someone exactly like her for an entire year. And tomorrow, everything changes. What Maya didn't notice was the man quietly making a phone call as she walked away. Maya helps Robert to his feet outside the diner. The bitter wind cuts through her thin jacket, but she doesn't rush. This man almost died tonight. I feel human again, Robert says, his voice stronger now. You saved my life. You just needed some food and warmth. Anyone would have done the same. Robert's laugh is quiet but genuine. No, Maya. Anyone wouldn't have. Trust me on that.
The shelter on 5th Street opens at midnight, Maya says, checking her phone. Do you know how to get there? I'll find it. Robert reaches into his coat. But first, let me give you my contact information. Maya sees him pull out what looks like an expensive business card. The paper catches the light, thick and embossed. Definitely not something a homeless man should have. I can't take that, Maya says gently, stepping back. But you need to let me repay you. What you've done tonight, I don't want to be repaid. Maya's voice is firm but kind. That's not why I helped you. Robert stares at her, the business card frozen halfway between them. You gave me your last $23. I watched you count it. You have a daughter to feed. And she'll eat tomorrow. We always figure it out. Maya places her hand gently on Robert's arm. Robert, I helped you because you needed help. That's all. No strings, no expectations, no debts. Just one human being helping another. For a moment, Robert looks like he might cry. In my experience, everyone wants something in return. Then your experience has been with the wrong people. Robert studies her face in the dim streetlight. You really mean that? Of course I mean it. Good luck, Robert. Stay warm. As Maya walks away, she doesn't see Robert pull out an expensive smartphone. Doesn't hear him whisper urgently into the phone. Charles, it's me. I found her. Sir, are you certain? She gave me her last dollar without hesitation. Didn't ask my name, didn't want anything in return. Single mother, works as a CNA, treats everyone with dignity. Charles, she's perfect. What are your orders? Run a complete background check, but quietly. I want to know everything about Maya Thompson by morning. Everything. Meanwhile, Maya returns to the laundromat where Zoe waits by their washing machine. Did you help him, Mama? Yes, baby. He's going somewhere warm now. Good. Zoe snuggles back into Maya's jacket. You always help people. That's what we do, remember? We take care of each other. They sit together watching their clothes spin in the final rinse cycle. Maya calculates the walk home in her head. 12 blocks through the snow. Her shoes have holes in the soles. Mama? Zoe's voice is sleepy. Are we going to be okay? Maya thinks about the $3 in her purse. About the eviction notice taped to their door. About walking 6 miles to work tomorrow because she can't afford bus fare. We're going to be better than okay, sweetheart. Tomorrow is going to be a beautiful day. And somehow, despite everything, Maya believes it. The washing machine stops with a final shudder. Maya moves their clothes to the dryer, feeding her last quarters into the machine. As she closes the dryer door, something crinkles in her jacket pocket. She pulls out an elegant business card she doesn't remember putting there. Heavy paper, embossed lettering, a phoenix logo rising in gold foil. Thompson Industries, Robert Thompson, CEO. Maya stares at the card, confused. Thompson Industries sounds familiar, but she can't place it. She assumes it's just a coincidence that they share the same last name. On the back, in elegant handwriting, thank you for seeing my humanity, RT. Maya tucks the card into her purse and forgets about it. She has bigger problems than mysterious business cards. What she doesn't know is that this card will change everything. And tomorrow, the real story begins. 3,000 miles away, a boardroom was about to change Maya's life forever. While Maya sleeps in her cramped apartment, Robert Thompson sits in his private office on the 30th floor of Thompson Industries headquarters. The city of Cleveland spreads out below him like a glittering circuit board. His assistant, Charles Morrison, enters with a thick folder. Your background report on Maya Thompson, sir. Robert opens the file with hands that still remember Maya's kindness. What he reads makes him smile for the first time in months. Perfect attendance at Mercy General for 6 years. Commendations from supervisors. Volunteers for extra shifts during holidays. Robert looks up. Character references? Unanimous. Neighbors describe her as
the kind of person who'd give you the shirt off her back. Zoe's teachers say she's raised an exceptional child despite incredible hardship. Robert flips to the next page and stops. Charles, look at this. The document shows a scholarship award from 20 years ago. Cleveland Community College Nursing Scholarship, funded by an anonymous donor. The recipient, Maya Thompson. Sir, you sponsored that scholarship. I've been following all 3 recipients for 2 decades. Maya was the only one who used her nursing education to serve others rather than chase money. She could have taken higher-paying positions, but she chose to work with Cleveland's most vulnerable populations. Charles nods. The investigator noted something else. Maya's father died homeless when she was 16. That's probably why she stopped to help you tonight. Robert closes the folder. No, Charles. Maya stopped because it's who she is. The Heart Initiative has been searching for someone like her for an entire year. Remind me of the program's goals? $50 million to identify and support individuals who demonstrate extraordinary compassion without recognition. We've tested dozens of people. Some helped when others were watching. Some demanded payment. Some ignored the need entirely. Robert walks to his window, looking down at the city where Maya probably lies awake worrying about rent money. But Maya Thompson gave her last dollar to a stranger without hesitation. She refused any form of repayment. She has genuine empathy born from struggle, and she spent her career caring for others. What's the next step? Robert turns back with determination. Tomorrow, we will change her life. What time does her shift start at Mercy General? 6 a.m., sir? Perfect. Maya Thompson is about to discover that her compassion has been noticed by someone who can actually do something about it. Charles starts to leave, then pauses. Sir, are you certain she's the right choice? Robert picks up the crumpled dollar bills Maya had given him, now framed on his desk. Charles, someone who gives her last $7 to a stranger can be trusted with $7 million in community investment funds. But what Robert doesn't know is that Maya's kindness is about to create ripples far beyond what either could imagine. The next morning, Maya was about to discover that her homeless stranger was hiding the most incredible secret. Maya wakes up at 4:30 a.m. to walk to work. Every step on the frozen sidewalk sends sharp pain through her feet from yesterday's soaked shoes, but she can't afford to miss a shift, not with rent 2 weeks overdue. She arrives at Mercy General exactly on time, exhausted but determined. Her supervisor, Sarah, notices Maya's tired eyes but doesn't ask questions. Everyone here fights their own battles. During her lunch break, Maya sits in the hospital cafeteria with a cup of free coffee. She remembers the business card from last night and pulls it from her purse. Thompson Industries, she reads aloud, then opens her phone to Google it. The search results make Maya's hands start shaking. Thompson Industries, Cleveland's largest private employer, 12,000 employees. CEO Robert Thompson announces $50 million charity initiative. Thompson Industries named Ohio's most charitable company. But it's the recent photo that stops her heart completely. Even clean-shaven and wearing a $3,000 suit, she recognizes those piercing blue eyes instantly. This is the homeless man she fed meatloaf last night. Maya stares at her phone screen in complete shock. Robert Thompson is worth $200 million. His company employs half of Cleveland. Last night, she gave her last dollar to one of the wealthiest men in Ohio. Her first emotion isn't anger. It's pure embarrassment. He must have thought I was so naive, she whispers to herself. But before she can process this fully, her supervisor approaches. Maya, there's someone here to see you, says it's urgent. In the hospital lobby stands a man in an expensive suit holding an envelope. Everything about him screams money and power. Miss Thompson, I'm Charles Morrison, representing Thompson Industries. Mr. Thompson would like to speak with you immediately. Maya's mind races. I don't understand. Is this about last night? I didn't know who he was. I swear I wasn't trying to— Miss Thompson, Charles interrupts gently, you're not in trouble. Quite the opposite. Mr. Thompson wants to see you because of what you did last night. Charles drives Maya to Thompson Industries headquarters in a car that costs more than she makes in 3 years. The building is a gleaming 30-story tower she's passed countless times, but never imagined entering. In the elevator to the top floor, Maya's head spins with questions. Why would a billionaire want to see her? What could he possibly want? The elevator doors open to reveal an office larger than Maya's entire apartment building. Floor-to-ceiling windows showcase all of Cleveland. And there, behind a desk that could house a small family, sits the man she bought dinner for 12 hours ago. Maya, please sit down. She can barely speak.
Mr. Thompson, I'm so sorry. I had no idea who you were.
If you're upset that I gave you money when you didn't need it— Upset? Robert stands and walks around his massive desk. Maya, you're here because what you did last night was extraordinary. But I gave money to someone who didn't need it. You gave money to someone you thought needed it. That's what matters. Robert guides her to a seating area that's more luxurious than any furniture Maya has ever touched. Maya, let me explain something. For the past year, I've been going undercover throughout Cleveland, testing people, looking for someone special. Testing people for what? Robert opens a leather folder. We call it the Heart Initiative. $50 million dedicated to finding and supporting individuals who demonstrate genuine compassion without expecting anything in return. Maya's mind struggles to process this. You mean, last night was a test? I've been a stranded motorist whose car broke down, a confused elderly man who got lost, a struggling father who couldn't afford groceries. Do you know what I discovered? Maya shakes her head. Most people walked past without looking. Some helped only when others were watching. A few demanded payment or wanted their names in the newspaper. But Maya— Robert slides a folder across the coffee table. You're the first person in an entire year who helped without hesitation, without wanting recognition, and without expecting anything in return. Maya opens the folder and gasps. It contains her employment records, character references, and something that makes her cover her mouth in shock. A copy of her scholarship acceptance letter from 20 years ago. Cleveland Community College Nursing Scholarship, funded by an anonymous donor, Robert says quietly. That was me, Maya. I've been watching your career from a distance for 2 decades. The room spins around Maya. You? You helped me become a nurse? I helped provide the opportunity. You did everything else. You used that education to spend 6 years caring for Cleveland's most vulnerable patients. You could have taken higher-paying jobs, but you chose to serve others. Maya realizes she's crying. I don't understand. Why me? Because, Maya, I've been looking for someone to help me run the Heart Initiative. Someone who understands struggle. Someone who knows what it means to sacrifice for others. Someone whose compassion isn't an act. It's just who they are. Robert leans forward. Last night, you proved you're that person. You gave your last dollar to a stranger, knowing it meant your daughter might go hungry. You refused any reward. You saw a human being who needed help, and you helped. Period. But I made so many mistakes. I should have called an ambulance. I should have— Maya, you did exactly what needed to be done. You saw someone's humanity and responded with your own. The weight of revelation crashes over Maya. The homeless man was a billionaire. The billionaire sponsored her education 20 years ago, and now he wants her to help run a $50 million charity. Mr. Thompson, this feels like a dream. It's not a dream, Maya. It's what happens when kindness meets opportunity. Your $1 of compassion is about to become millions of dollars helping people just like you. Robert stands and walks to his window, looking out over the city. Maya Thompson, would you like to hear about the job offer that's going to change not just your life, but the lives of thousands of families in Cleveland? Maya can barely breathe. 12 hours ago, she had $23 and an eviction notice. Now she's sitting in a billionaire's office being offered the chance of a lifetime. Yes, she whispers. Tell me everything. Robert's next words would reveal an opportunity beyond Maya's wildest dreams. Robert opens a leather portfolio and spreads documents across his desk like he's dealing cards that will change Maya's entire future. Maya, I want to show you exactly what I'm proposing. The first document makes Maya's breath catch. It's a job offer with numbers that don't seem real. Director of Community Impact for Thompson Industries. Annual salary $120,000. Full health insurance for you and Zoe. Company car, housing allowance, 4 weeks paid vacation. And Maya, this isn't charity. This is a job that requires your specific skills. Maya stares at the paper. $120,000 is more than double what she makes now. More money than she ever imagined earning. What would I actually do? Robert's eyes light up. Transform lives. The HEART initiative is expanding to 12 cities across Ohio. Your job would be to identify people like yourself, hardworking families who are struggling despite doing everything right. Then create programs that don't just help them survive, but help them thrive. He slides over another document. You'd oversee a $2 million annual emergency assistance fund, educational scholarships for struggling families, microloans for community entrepreneurs, mental health support programs, senior citizen care initiatives. Maya's hands shake as she reads. Mr. Thompson, I'm a CNA, not a business executive. Maya, you're qualified because you understand what actually helps people versus what sounds good in boardrooms. You can hire MBAs to handle spreadsheets. I need someone who can look at a struggling family and see potential, not just problems. Robert stands and walks to a wall covered with architectural plans. But Maya, there's more, much more. He points to detailed blueprints. The Sarah and Maya Thompson Community Center, named after my late wife and you. We're building it in your neighborhood. Maya joins him at the wall, studying the plans. The center is massive, beautiful, designed with obvious love and care. Free childcare for working parents, adult education classes, job training programs, community health screenings, hot meals for anyone who needs them. You'll design every program based on what you wish had existed when you were struggling. The generosity overwhelms Maya. This is too much. Maya, last night you gave me everything you had without thinking twice. Now I'm giving you the tools to help hundreds of families who are exactly where you were yesterday. Robert returns to his desk and picks up another document that makes Maya sit down hard. 1847 Maple Street. 4 bedrooms, fenced yard, walking distance to Cleveland's best elementary school. It's yours. Maya stares at the house deed with her name already printed on it. Mr. Thompson, I can't accept a house. You can and you will, because you're going to pay it forward 1,000 times over. Before Maya can protest, Robert continues. We're also creating the Maya Thompson Scholarship Fund, $500,000 annually to support single parents pursuing healthcare careers. You'll help select recipients and mentor them. Maya starts crying. You're naming it after me? Your story will inspire applications from people who think no one cares about their struggles. They'll see that someone who started where they are can end up changing lives professionally. Robert sits across from Maya, his voice becoming more passionate. But Maya, here's what excites me most. For Zoe, we're establishing a full college fund. By the time she's 18, there will be $200,000 waiting for her education. Maya covers her face with her hands. The numbers are staggering, life-changing, impossible. Maya, this isn't just philanthropy. It's smart business. Companies that genuinely invest in their communities see increased loyalty, better employee retention, stronger local economies. You'll help me prove that caring about people is profitable. Maya looks around the luxurious office, then at the documents promising to transform everything about her life. Mr. Thompson, yesterday I was facing eviction. Today you're offering me a house, a career, and the chance to help thousands of people. How do I know this is real? Robert opens his desk drawer and pulls out the crumpled $7 bills Maya gave him last night, now carefully preserved in a frame. Because someone who gives her last $7 to a stranger is exactly the person who can be trusted with $7 million in community investment funds. He leans forward. Maya, I need an answer. Not because I'm impatient, but because there are families in Cleveland tonight who are exactly where you were 24 hours ago. They need help, and they need it from someone who understands their world. Maya thinks about Zoe sleeping on that plastic chair in the laundromat, about all the nights she's lain awake worrying about rent, about all the patients she's cared for who remind her of herself. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough for this? Maya, you've been preparing for this job your entire life. Every shift you worked while exhausted, every patient you comforted, every sacrifice you made for Zoe, Every dollar you've counted and recounted. That's your qualification. Robert stands. I want you to start in 2 weeks. That gives you time to give proper notice at the hospital, get Zoe enrolled in her new school, and settle into your house. We'll also provide a $10,000 signing bonus to handle your immediate needs. Back rent, new clothes for work, whatever you need to start fresh. Maya looks at the business card that started this impossible journey. 24 hours ago, she thought it was just a coincidence that they shared the same last name. Maya, I believe your story needs to be heard. We want to document your first year in this role and show other companies how to identify and support the Maya Thompsons in their own communities. Maya takes a deep breath and thinks about the woman she was yesterday, counting quarters for laundry, walking miles to work, giving her last dollar to a stranger. That woman would want this woman to say yes. Yes, she whispers, then stronger. Yes, I want to do this. Robert smiles. Then let's change the world, $1 at a time. 6 months later, Maya's transformation had created ripples no one could have imagined. Maya's personal transformation. The cramped studio above Carter's grocery store is now a memory. Maya and Zoe live in their 4-bedroom house on Maple Street, where Zoe has her own room painted pink, just like she dreamed. The walls are covered with her artwork and certificates from her new school. Maya no longer walks miles to work in shoes with holes. She drives to Thompson Industries headquarters each morning in a reliable car, wearing professional clothes that actually fit. But more importantly, she wakes up excited about her work instead of dreading the financial calculations. Zoe attends Riverside Elementary, one of Cleveland's best schools. She's joined the science club, takes piano lessons, and her teacher notices something special about her empathy. She naturally helps classmates who struggle. Mama always says everyone deserves kindness, Zoe tells her teacher when asked why she shares her lunch with a boy whose family can't afford school meals. The Heart Initiative. Success stories. Maya's first major case was Carlos Martinez, a construction worker injured on the job. His wife left him with 3 kids when the medical bills piled up. Maya found him at Mercy General when she overheard him choosing between his prescription and his children's school supplies. The Heart Initiative provided medical debt forgiveness, job retraining in medical equipment maintenance, and childcare during his education. 6 months later, Carlos works at Mercy General earning $45,000 annually. His kids are thriving in school, and he volunteers at the community center on weekends. Then there was Ruth Williams, an 82-year-old widow living on $800 monthly Social Security. Maya discovered her choosing between heating and medication during Cleveland's brutal winter. The Heart Initiative weatherized Ruth's home, enrolled her in prescription assistance programs, and arranged weekly grocery delivery. Now Ruth teaches cooking classes at the Sarah and Maya Thompson Community Center, passing down recipes and wisdom to young mothers who remind her of herself decades ago. Maya's third major success was the Hassan family, Syrian refugees working 3 jobs between them, but still drowning in medical bills for their diabetic daughter. The Heart Initiative provided health insurance assistance, English language classes, and a small business loan for Mr. Hassan's food truck dream. Hassan's Middle Eastern kitchen now serves downtown Cleveland workers. The family purchased their first home last month, and their daughter's diabetes is perfectly managed with proper health care. Media coverage and recognition. Channel 5 Investigates featured the Heart Initiative as a model for corporate social responsibility. The segment showed Maya visiting families, explaining how her lived experience helps her identify genuine need versus temporary setbacks. When you've counted change for bus fare, you understand that a $50 gas card isn't just transportation, it's dignity, Maya tells the interviewer. 60 Minutes profiled the program nationally, with Maya appearing alongside Robert to explain their unique partnership. The episode generated 500 applications from other cities wanting to replicate their model. Business and community impact. Thompson Industries reports record employee satisfaction. Local unemployment in target neighborhoods dropped 3%. Property values increased 12% as families stabilized and invested in their communities. Other Cleveland businesses launched their own Heart initiatives. First Energy created the Bright Future program for families struggling with utility bills. University hospitals established debt forgiveness protocols for low-income patients. The community center opening. The Sarah and Maya Thompson Community Center opened to a crowd of 500 people. Maya cut the ribbon alongside Robert and Zoe, surrounded by families whose lives had been transformed. On opening day, 75 children enrolled in after-school programs. 40 adults started GED classes, 200 families received hot meals, and 12 single mothers began job training programs. Mrs. Patterson, Maya's former neighbor who used to watch Zoe, now works as a child care coordinator. Maya never forgot where she came from, she tells reporters. The Scholarship Program. Results. The Maya Thompson Scholarship Fund received 1,200 applications in its first year. 25 recipients were selected, all single parents pursuing healthcare careers. Maria Santos became a licensed practical nurse, working at Mercy General alongside Maya's former colleagues. David Kim specialized in pediatric respiratory therapy. Jennifer Wright earned her medical assistant certification and plans to continue toward an RN degree. Each scholarship recipient commits to 5 hours of monthly community service, creating a network of support for future applicants. Economic Impact Study. Case Western Reserve University's Economics Department studied the HEART Initiative's impact. Their report showed that every dollar invested generated $3.20 in local economic activity. The program created 127 new jobs and helped 89 families purchase homes. Maya's reflection. Standing in her office overlooking downtown Cleveland, Maya keeps a framed photo of herself and Zoe from their laundromat days. "I don't want to forget what desperation feels like," she tells visiting social workers from other cities. "The moment you forget, you stop being effective at helping others escape it." The crumpled $7 Robert returned to her are displayed in a shadow box with the inscription, "Every dollar matters. Every person matters. Every moment of kindness matters." But Maya's greatest pride isn't the media coverage or awards. It's the 347 families who no longer worry about choosing between rent and food. And it all started with $1 given to a stranger on the coldest night of the year. 1 year later, Maya would discover that her story had inspired something even bigger. It's February 15th again, exactly 1 year after Maya gave her last dollar to Robert Thompson. She's walking through downtown Cleveland when she notices a young mother with a toddler sitting on a bench outside the same diner where everything changed. The woman is clearly struggling. Maya recognizes the desperation. The way she's counting change, her child asking for food. It's like looking at herself 1 year ago. Maya approaches gently. "Excuse me, are you okay?" The woman, Sarah, 19 years old, explains she's waiting for her shift to start at a nearby cleaning company. Her babysitter canceled, she can't afford daycare, and her son Tyler hasn't eaten since breakfast. Without hesitation, Maya takes Sarah and Tyler into the diner, the same booth where she sat with Robert. She orders them a full meal and listens to Sarah's story. Sarah works 2 part-time jobs but still can't make ends meet. She dropped out of high school when Tyler was born. Dreams of becoming a teacher, but sees no path forward. "What if I told you there might be a way to help?" Maya asks. She pulls out her phone and helps Sarah apply to the HEART Initiative on the spot, walking her through each question with understanding of someone who's been exactly where Sarah sits. "This seems too good to be true," Sarah says. "I thought the same thing a year ago," Maya replies, showing Sarah the business card Robert slipped into her pocket that cold night. As they talk, Maya learns that 3 other young mothers at Sarah's work are in similar circumstances. Maya sees an opportunity. Within a week, she launches the Circle of Support program. 5 young mothers meet weekly at the community center, sharing childcare duties while taking online courses toward their GEDs. 9-year-old Zoe, now mature beyond her years, helps serve at the community center's weekly dinners. She understands that their good fortune came from her mother's good heart. "Mama, are we going to help Sarah like Mr. Thompson helped us?" "We're going to help Sarah help herself, just like he helped me help myself." Maya frames the receipt from Sarah and Tyler's meal. $23. Exactly what Maya spent on Robert 1 year ago. It joins the $7 bills in her office display, representing the endless cycle of kindness she now facilitates professionally. As Maya drives home that night to her warm house where Zoe waits with homework spread across their kitchen table, she reflects on Robert's words. Pay it forward 1,000 times over. She's lost count of how many times she's already done exactly that. But what Maya doesn't know is that Sarah will graduate with her GED in 6 months, become a teacher in 3 years, and eventually run her own Circle of Support program in Detroit. $1, one meal, one moment of kindness, infinite possibilities. Maya's story proves that kindness is the most powerful force in the world. Maya Thompson's journey from struggling single mother to community leader began with a single moment of choice. When faced with giving her last dollar to someone who needed it, she chose compassion over self-preservation. Every day, each of us faces Maya's choice in smaller ways. The homeless person asking for change. The coworker struggled silently. The neighbor who needs help but won't ask. The single parent counting quarters at the grocery store. What if your next act of kindness is the one that changes everything? For them, for you, for your entire community. Maya's dollar became millions of dollars helping thousands of people. Your kindness could become something equally powerful. You don't need wealth to change the world. You just need the willingness to see other people's humanity and act on it. Be someone's Maya Thompson today. Look for the person who needs what you can give, even if it's your last dollar, your last hour, your last ounce of patience. What's your Maya Thompson moment going to be? Tell us in the comments below. If this story inspired you, hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs to believe that kindness still matters. And subscribe for more stories that prove ordinary people can create extraordinary change. Because the world needs more Maya Thompsons. And that person could be you.
At Black Voices Uncut, we don't polish away the pain or water down the message. We tell it like it is because the truth deserves nothing less. If today's story spoke to you, click like, join the conversation in the comments, and subscribe so you'll be here for the next Uncut Voice.